This is just a quick follow-up part 2 to the last video that I posted where I was literally asking what happened to the Sony FX30 version 5 firmware. So a couple of hours after posting that video, I actually saw on another page that the A7R5's firmware has been suspended, and that is because there was reports of some cameras not booting up. So as a precaution, Sony suspended FX3 and FX30's firmware. I received quite a few comments on the last post, and some people were suggesting that I need to actually update the firmware through the Creators app, and some people were telling me what issues they've had with the new firmware installed and so forth. So I just wanted to do this video just to sort of clarify a couple of those points. There may be like a nudge on Sony's part to try and encourage you to go through the Sony Creators app, but that's not what the issue is here. The firmware has actually been officially suspended, so it's not even available through the app, nor is it available to download from their site. And although Sony has officially announced that it's just doing it out of precaution, there have actually been some issues. Reading through my comment section on the last video, you can feel free to scroll through yourself. But a few people have highlighted to me that any third-party accessories, they don't seem to work anymore. I actually have all genuine Sony batteries except for the two on my desk here. And the reason why is I got these K&F batteries which you can actually charge for USB-C directly into the battery itself. So I actually leave the battery door compartment open with the battery inserted and a USB-C connected into the battery, and it's kind of like acting as a dummy battery. And because of the overhead camera here, I needed a lightweight lens that is also capable of like close-up focus. So it's the Sigma 18-50 up here. So both of those are third party and at risk that if I was to update to the V5 firmware, that the battery and the lens won't work anymore. With regards to the battery itself, the commenters haven't actually specified what brand they're using, but it appears to be sort of like a mixture of issues where sometimes the battery is actually powering the camera, you just can't get an accurate battery reading. And some commenters are saying that the third-party batteries just don't work at all. And with regards to the third-party lenses, no one's actually told me that the lenses don't work at all. They're just flagging that there's inaccuracies with the autofocus. So those are the only two issues that have been flagged to me about the Sony FX3 and the FX30. No one has flagged to me that it's bricked their camera, so that's a positive. So on a personal choice, if it was me and my FX30 was updated to the version 5, I'd probably be more hesitant to use it until Sony readdressed the firmware and update with a version 5.1 or something. Also, there are a few comments on the last video where people are actually asking for the download file. And there is a YouTuber out there who actually commented on my channel who's actually pinned a link on his video of the FX30 update, allowing you to download the link from the Dropbox. So it's entirely up to you if you want to do it. I personally wouldn't, and I'd urge caution just because Sony has suspended that firmware for a reason. But from what I see in the comment sections, the only two issues that are really flagged here for the FX30 and FX3 is the fact of the use of third-party lenses and batteries. If that's not you and you're actually mostly using Sony G or G Master lenses along with genuine batteries, you may not experience any issues, then you can enjoy Shutter Angle. But for me personally, I've gone this far without using it. It's not really worth the risk for me, and I use third-party lenses and batteries in this setup here. On a closing note, I'm just a little bit disappointed that Sony didn't try to make this a bit more obvious that they suspended the firmware. Their notice was on a completely separate page and it wasn't obvious because on the actual download page, they just simply removed the download button. Unless I missed it on the page, I didn't see any text anywhere on that download page to notify me that the firmware has been suspended. It would have been a simple update to the page that if they maybe just changed the download link to redirect to the actual notice elsewhere on another page, or just that there's a big header on that main download page to say version 5 has been suspended. If there was an issue and they needed to rectify it, I'd rather that transparency. But overall, this is just a quick follow-up from the last video, just to sort of update on my findings through the whole situation. Personally, I'm okay now to wait for the version 5.1, and I might even wait for like weeks or months after that's released before I even attempt to install it on my camera just to be safe. But other than that, that's it from me. Cheers for watching.